Hello and welcome to my review of the Horus Heresy Legion Vigilator console. One of these models will cost you £21. It's the same price as I think all the consoles. That's what he looks like when he's painted and things. And as the keen-eyed among you can spot, he does have a different head. Well, a helmetless head compared to mine. That's because you get two heads. Yes. Forge World haven't stopped making models with more than one head. This is the other head. We're going to have a detailed look at the model in a moment. There it is. There's the head without the helmet. So yeah, Forge World still haven't stopped making models with kind of two heads, if that makes sense, or head options. Anyway. Similar kind of price to all the rest of them. The model was quite straightforward to put together. Of course, it's resin, and it's Forge World resin, not the fine cast stuff. So that means that you're going to have to leave it in soapy water overnight, give it a rinse, and then clip the parts off the gates and file them. But I'd advise you to wear a mask because the dust from this resin is pretty harmful compared to, you know, the Games Workshop normal plastic, even the fine cast actually. Anyway, so yeah, model quite straightforward to put together, easier to put together than the Legion Praevian. I wouldn't say he's a nightmare, but he's definitely more tricky. Anyway, what could you use him for? Well, if you don't want to use him as a Legion Vigilator for Horus Heresy, you can. I would, if I was facing an opponent and he or she had this model, I would say, yep, you can use that as a scout sergeant with sniper rifle. Fine. I'm all for cool models, just so long as we remember that, you know, he'd have a 4+ normal save. I'll be going through the rules later on in the review for Horus Heresy. That's why you'll have things like weapon skill 3 and stuff instead of, like, you know, 4+ and stuff. But let's have a look at the detail of the model first of all. So I'll just enhance a little bit more. As you can see, I've gone for the helmeted option. Really cool. Love this armor. I think it's Mark 5 armor. It's got the kind of fiber bundles in the grooves. There were some mold lines on the cloak and on the legs a little bit, but not as bad as the Praevian. The rifle, the sniper rifle, really cool. No issues there, and the hole is kind of pre-drilled almost. He's got a tiny little bit of a scenic base on this 32mm base, and his power pack is crammed full of detail. Look at all that. You've got this optical lens torch thing, you've got the power vents, you've got the some kind of silence pistol, you've got some magazine pouches and some grenades dangling, and then you've got this really nice handle for a dagger, and then you've got the armor itself. Loads of detail there. Yeah, fantastic little model. Great looking Space Marine. Let me just show you him next to the other console, because these are all kind of consoles. I haven't got the console with the two Volkite pistols. I've forgotten what his name is. Please put it in the comments below, help me out. But I haven't got him with me at the moment, so I can't show you him with them. But this is the Praevian, and I actually prefer the Vigilator over the Praevian. Praevian's really nice, but yeah, I'll just show you them next to each other. Next to some other Imperial models. So next to a normal Space Marine, here's one from the Heroes. So it's, oh, there goes me Magus, bless her. Okay, next to probably one of the newest plastic Space Marines, similar size, if not exactly the same size, which is brilliant. It just shows that Forge World are making their Space Marines kind of exactly the same size, all of these Space Marines, which is brilliant. Next to an Intercessor, I have one right here, not that one obviously. Next to the Intercessor, you can see that the Intercessor towers above, I say the Mini Marine. Just goes to show you how far we've come. And just because I have Sanguinius, I call him Sanguinius, I know it's Sanguinius, that just goes to show you how big Sanguinius is next to a console. So definitely under his wings. He's taken him under his wing to help the Legion out. Anyway, hope those size comparisons help. Maybe not the sanguineous one. So this is my part of the review where I will go through all of his 30k rules, his Horus Heresy rules. There's no 40k rules for him. You'll find him in, I want to say your black book, but it's essentially your Horus Heresy book called Legions Astartes Age of Darkness Army List. I don't think they've renewed it up until 2016, so it's a good sort of two and a bit years ago that they renewed the Armies of Darkness, and he is an HQ choice. So his points cost is 35. Back then, all the options and things were included in his points. It goes on to say, highly skilled as watchers and hunters among their brethren, operating often on their own or in command of reconnaissance detachments, vigilators are the eyes of their legion on the ground, their wisdom paramount in scouting out the foe's disposition and strength, and determining the best place to strike. Theirs also are the arts of sabotage and assassination, and while some legions are more inclined to such subtleties than others, all see their military value. There you go. So his war gear, he's got a chameleon and bolter, Kraken, Tempest, and Scorpius bolts. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, it was the Moritat console I was trying to think of, sorry. Okay, so the Kraken bolt shells. Range 30 inches, strength 4, AP 4, and rapid fire. That's alright, I like the AP 4, that's pretty good. And 30 inches is quite good. Tempest rounds, they're only 18-inch range. And they're only strength 3 and they're only AP 6, but they are rapid fire blast 3 inches, so that's pretty good. You get a 3-inch blast template with those bolt shells. And then finally the Scorpius bolt shells, that's a range of 24 inches, so normal bolt gun range, strength 5, AP 2, that's amazing, heavy 1, and shred. So yeah, if 8th edition rules are all you know, strength 5 AP 2 is very good, and shred is very good too. Back when different weapons had different kind of special rules, so you had to read up, another part of the book about the special rules. He may replace his power armour with scout armour for 4+ save. This gains them the infiltrate and move through cover special rules for free. He may not take a combi weapon, boarding shield, power fist, thunderhammer, lightning claws, bike, jet bike, or terminator armour. Special rules: scout, sniper, and precision shots. Sabotage. This is one of his key special rules why you take him. After both sides have deployed, but before the first game turn, select a single enemy unit or fortification on the table. That unit suffers D6, strength 5, AP 6 hits. Targets are struck against their weakest armor value. Casualties are allocated by the opposing player and do not cause morale checks. A single sabotage attack may be made for each vigilator in the force. If both sides possess them, roll off to determine which side attacks go first. That's awesome. After you've deployed, but before that first game turn, bang, you get all those free kind of explosions. Really, really cool little attack. I just want to go through his stat line because he's essentially a Centurion, but a Centurion is upgraded to one of the consoles for the points cost listed. So the Centurion is 50 points, and then to upgrade him to the Vigilator, it's an extra 35. So he is 85 points in total. I just wanted to make that point out. So his weapon skill is 5, ballistic skill 5. That's both very good. Strength 4, toughness 4. He's only got 2 wounds though. He's got initiative 5, attacks 3, leadership 9, and a save of 3+. That's pretty good. All these Centurions, they can be upgraded to the consoles. You've got a Librarian console, a Master of Signal, Force Lord, Primus Medicae, Siegebreaker, Chaplain, the Vigilator, which this guy is, a Moritat, which I've also got, a Praevian, which I'll be doing the review straight after this, and a Delegatus, and a Herald. So they're all the consoles that are upgraded from normal Centurions in the book. Hopefully they'll bring out more, and then I can review them all. But as far as this little Vigilator is concerned, that is it. That's all I wanted to say. What do you guys think of the model? Do you think it's a really cool model, really cool sniper, armed Space Marine? Put it in the comments below. It'll be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.